Most traders treat a backtest like a permission slip to trade live. Then the first drawdown hits and the permission slip gets torn up at the door. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the checks I use and the research I recommend to have a fighting chance when live capital, slippage, and fast markets show up. I'm Mark Anderson, construction worker turned 0DTE hedge fund manager. I've traded over 1,000 consecutive 0DTE market days and sold over $100 million in 0DTE premium. I share systems I actually run and the mistakes that taught me what survives in 0DTE trading. The goal isn't the prettiest backtest, it's the one that survives. By the end, you'll have a simple checklist you can run on any of your strategies so your results predict your next trade, not just the last one. The reality of your returns and what your curve looks like. Start with drawdown. 2 questions I like to ask: how deep is this drawdown and how long did it last? Long, grinding drawdowns kill your conviction even when the headline returns of your category look great. How far did you drop that phone and how long before it started working again? You want to size for the pain you may take. Take your test max drawdown, look at it in a Monte Carlo analysis in the worst case scenario, and then plan for it to be 1.5 to 2 times more in real life. Duration matters. Log your average time underwater and the longest recovery time it took to get back to even. I will not trade anything that stays in a drawdown for longer than 6 months. Year-on-year sanity. Use the compounded annual growth rate to compare periods and scan the calendar year table. This helps you see what it's like carrying this trade for a decade and how fragile it is. You want to see what that equity curve looks like and want a steady slope along that with normal wiggles along the way. Not a flat, perfect line over a long period of time. That most likely means a look-ahead bias and that you may have correlation relative to the drawdown that you're expecting. We also want to think about same-day systems that can stack losses in a backtest. If we show potential 11 loss in a row, size like you could have 15. You also want to think about the engine and the expectancy and how does this feel like to go through streaks. Your win rate is how it feels, and the expectancy is whether it actually makes money over a long period of time. When we look at the expectancy, we're taking the win percent times the average win minus the loss percent times the average loss after all commission slippage and fees. After paying for the lemons and the cups, how much does each glass of lemonade net? You have a high win rate, shorter drawdowns, easier psychology to run it. Low win rate, longer drawdowns, but bigger winners, you know which engine you're driving. Consecutive losses. Track your average and worst losing streak over time. What's historical and what does the Monte Carlo simulation say it could be? Use both of those to set a per trade risk limit and decide when to review and when not to panic when you're seeing that loss streak. What is the structure and samples of the test and how do you avoid overfitting? Too many knobs, you can overfit the backtest. Too few, and it may be underfit and not optimized. Aim for 2 to 5 meaningful parameters that actually move returns or drawdowns. Never use information unavailable to the decisions before or using look-ahead bias, like earnings performance. Use the same size. Confidence comes through enough trades across ups and downs in every market environment. High volatility, low volatility, different targets. We want 1,000 trades if possible. Test the lengths of these trades, your intraday holding time, duration, and periods. 5 years can be enough with a small sample size. Weekly holding periods, you probably want up to 10 years of data because there's not as many occurrences to fully catch all the cycles. Very high frequency, over 10 trades a day, 1 year could be enough data to run that with conviction. Include delisted data as well to avoid overfitting and survivorship bias on certain trades. When it comes to optimization, you want to make sure it passes. Treat optimization like a life in a video game. Spend few, walk forward analysis help, but you can over-optimize in a walk forward. If the recipe only works exactly at 351 degrees for 7 minutes and 12 seconds, it's not a recipe, it's curve fit art. Take into account the friction and robustness test of how much it costs to run this trade. Paper fills are useless. It's not true. We want real commissions, real slippage, and other cost for all types of accounts. We also want a fixed slippage parameter and budget in time for larger slippage amounts over the period of us trading. Commissions can really eat in your profits, so I like to bump these up 15 to 20% more than I actually experience in trading for the inevitable big slippage days. The reality of 0DTE. Fast markets can be faster slippage. Make sure you are always adding 20% to what your forward testing slippage is to budget for the inevitable fast markets when large slippage events occur. Look through everything in a Sharpe lens or risk-adjusted returns. Your return minus the risk-free rate divided by the volatility. For a rough guide, 1 to 2 Sharpe is good. Over 2 is excellent, but we really want an over 3 Sharpe. That's really amazing. Don't use Sharpe alone for intraday and combine it with other checks to make sure it works. Here are some checks that I like to use. 1, a Monte Carlo simulation. Reshuffle the sequence, see what your streaks could be and how bad your drawdown could potentially get. 2, walk forward analysis. Tune, roll, test, repeat. Mimics time and time again what could actually happen. The goal of this walk forward is not to have the best backtest based on prior results, but rather that your future backtest of the out of sample period most match what you're doing in the past. 3, stress test. See how it happened in 2020, 2022, and 2025 during tariffs. What potential black swan risks that aren't included in the data set could come up to potentially expose you to larger losses in the future. There's your sticker price versus the drive off price when you get off the lot. You want to know what your costs are and what margin you have for error in the future. Your backtest need a handoff plan. Before I ever start anything or sell a single dollar, I plan to add 20% more to my slippage from forward tested results into my backtest to budget for the inevitable. I also want to analyze how it held up during different regimes like 2025 and the tariffs, 2022 and the COVID crash. And most importantly, size. Size for the worst historical streaks implied by the Monte Carlo simulation, not what occurred just during the backtest period. Pre-commit. When you pre-commit that your mechanics will run without alteration for at least a quarter, you know you've done the right amount of work and you can get solid data to make iterations moving forward. Forward test small with real timestamps to validate your fills and check your actual performance versus your backtest in the future. Build that parachute in before you jump. If you want my backtest review checklist, there's a one-pager below. Make sure your backtest predict your future, not just explain your past. Thanks for watching.